Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. This is yet another episode in English, so let's talk about punk rock. The certain strain of music that we all know and love, and that in its origins was the embodiment of rebellious energy and an outspoken, or screamed rather, anti-establishment approach, but nowadays faces the challenge to be the voice of reason and a reminder that the core principles of human society should still be love, compassion and respectful conversation, even in, or especially in times of division. This, of course, brings me to today's guest. A fascinating human being who, in another life and another time, might have become a teacher of sort. Not necessarily in a college kind of way, but as a wise and insightful man people listen to. You know what I mean. I was excited to meet him in person at the kickoff show of his European tour, but unfortunately plans got altered and the tour got cancelled. Anyway, we've had a rambling talk about a variety of topics such as how the debate around vaccination turns a medical issue into a political problem, why positivity is key when the deck seems stacked against you, the uphill battle of caring for people who don't care about you, not in a romantic kind of way, and why the Sex Pistols' nihilistic "no future" has to be superseded by the optimism of the late, great Joe Strummer. His new album is called Rebel Songs. It will be out this week. The release show will be streaming on December the 17th. You can check the show notes for details there. But now, without further ado, please enjoy this wide-ranging conversation with the punk rocker and gentleman, Mr. Nathan Gray.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah! Called Intro.
Natürliche Ausrede.
Get me closer, I hope you're liking it.
War das nicht ganz so schlimm oder nicht ganz so geil?
Was wirklich drauf anlegen könnte, man Suicide by Tiger begehen.
Es gibt noch andere Feinde. Wir werden nicht so viele Leute erschossen.
10.000 Mann, wir brauchen Pferde und Kanone.
Ich finde den Plan super. Die Welt geht zugrunde.
Hat die Kontrolle über sein Leben.
Man, how are you? Thanks for making the time, first of all.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's I always love talking. So,
Do you? Well,
Yeah.
I would actually have preferred it if we would meet in person, like we were
Yeah.
supposed to.
right.
Your tour that has been altered before has now been canceled, right?
Correct. Yes. We so yeah, it was yesterday I was supposed to get on a plane to come over. So yesterday was a bit of a bummer for me. Like
sure.
it was a very busy day, and at the same time it was just sort of like you know. Now I lost my train of thought. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So just like it was a busy day, but it wasn't leading anywhere. Like it's just running through
Right.
thin air.
Exactly. And at the same time, I was trying to plan a bunch of stuff. Like for today, I just posted, I'm doing an acoustic online set to sort of try to offset, because obviously like costs go into this, all of this stuff, that I think people don't realize that when bands go on tour, a lot of times we do so and we save money from those tours to finance other tours,
Yeah, of course.
And when you have that break, it's like, oh no, how am I going to finance this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to keep moving?
Of course.
So
I guess many people just enjoy the like 1.5 hour on stage as they should. But
yeah, absolutely.
but there's so much more logistics going into the whole thing.
Yeah. There's a ton more to it, but and that's fine. I don't think that everybody that comes to a show needs to understand
No, of course not.
all the inner workings. But it's a little frustrating sometimes to realize how much goes into this and how much you have to constantly be moving at all times, or you'll just get lost.
Yes, of course, especially in the media nowadays.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt. If you are not constantly pushing yourself, constantly being creative, constantly getting out there,
Yeah.
no one's going to care. You know?
True.
Yeah.
Can't add anything else.
Right.
But as you put out this album, Rebel Songs, and I've listened to a couple of the songs, but let's get to this later.
Okay.
And was this the first or the one and only European tour for this album that should take place?
This would be the first one. It was supposed to be the first one. I have still on the books. There should be in the summer should be some festival dates.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You know what I mean? Who knows? So, but yeah, this was supposed to be the kickoff for the album. This was the record release tour. You know what I mean? So,
and just the European record release tour, or the worldwide first tour ever for this?
It would have been. Well, it would have been the. Yeah, I mean, it would have been the first tour with this record actually out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I just did a tour with Frank Turner in the U.S. where I had some of the CDs with me towards the end of it, and I did a record release show here in Philly, near here in Philly, where I had like 50 CDs I was able to sell at that record release show. But other than that, not like a big full tour. You know what I mean? That won't be in the U.S. until March. A full tour.
And how's the situation in the US right now in terms of touring and playing live at all?
Interesting. It's different. It's obviously things are run a bit different here. Things are,
Of course.
But usually what I've found is the responsibility falls onto the shoulders of the people touring. So what we do, and we just did this with when we were on the Frank Turner tour, they were very cautious about how we did things. There needed to be masking, there needed to be vaccinations, there needed to be, all these things. Plus, all the bands, all the musicians and people on the tour, we would get tested every couple of days. There was no one that wasn't on the tour that was allowed backstage. Like, it was very tight. Yeah.
Okay.
We did it very, and not only that, but also the sound man, anybody that was at the club, working at the club, also got tested, and it was very well done, I feel. So moving forward, like this March tour that we just set up, vaccinations will be required. There'll be testing of us as a band
on a regular basis.
On a regular basis, yeah. And so, there comes a point in this situation where you have to do what you can to keep moving. And that's what we're doing. We've all been vaccinated. I'm getting my booster shot on Friday. And you do what you can to keep moving.
Yeah, but it's weird. I mean, weird on many levels, of course.
Yes.
But, but what I mean is, especially when you talk about touring and the whole aspect of this, many people seem to primarily concentrate on the hygiene and on the testing, etc. And all the other things like the technical aspects from my part, for example, or the music, etc. It's all like second place to let's first keep everything as safe as possible, and then we focus on what we're actually here for.
Right. It's so difficult because already touring is a difficult thing. There's so many moving parts, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So then you add on top of it all these safety measures and all these things that you need to do to keep people safe and or I mean, let's be honest, as safe as possible.
Of course.
You're not keeping anyone 100% safe. You're just doing as best you can.
Of course, but like always, there is no absolute safety. Never was.
Without a doubt. Yeah, never was and never will be.
There we
But I think that it behooves us all to be very cautious with that saying. You know what I mean? Because I think that some people use that to go, well, I don't need to get vaccinated. I don't need to get this because there's never safety anyway. That's not what we mean. You know what I mean?
No.
What we mean is that we do all we can to keep ourselves safe, and that other percentage that we can't control, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do what we can and we keep moving. That's all we can
do. We do what we can and not less.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. That's a great way of saying it.
Yeah. And these people, like you said, that some use it to their advantage to justify their questionable way of behaving.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We have to adjust. Everybody knows what we mean. And if you want to be picky with the words, go along. But hey, come on.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
We're all adults in this, aren't we?
Yes, or should be.
Should be. There you go.
Yeah, should be acting like adults. And that's the issue. That's why we see these problems, because it's turned into such a political issue when it doesn't need to be.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be. The messaging from politicians, the messaging from like people who are supposedly specialists, like it drives me insane.
Yeah.
Like, this has nothing to do with politics. Let's just keep each other safe and do what we can to move forward in this. This is killing people. Yeah. Not only, like, come on. Like,
I mean, I remember when the bars were quitting smoking inside here in Germany.
Yep.
And there was some sort of outcry, but it was like, well, between the smoker and the smoker, like, oh, it's all fucked up and man, and I want to smoke in there, and now I have to go outside. But that's it. And I actually Googled on there's this website Google Trends. You know this?
Yeah.
And I Googled vaccination. And I looked over the time, like over, I guess, 5 years. And vaccination is a thing, has been for decades.
Forever.
So,
yeah.
But there is a spike in it, in this term, on the last year. And everything else is like 10% of it. Everything all the time.
Yes.
So, it's... you start to imagine that people realize there are vaccines, or have realized in this very year.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It drives me insane because we all know what vaccines are. Do you have kids in school? You know what vaccines are. Shut up. Like, you've been vaccinating your kids for everything else. Yeah. And that's the issue, is that and I'm going to be honest, I really do believe in my heart of hearts that the people that are so like against it and outspoken, they are a minority in this world, but the media is giving them too much coverage. We are giving them too much attention. Like, back in the day, like, you just didn't give idiots attention like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many times do you give a flat earther attention? You don't. You know what I mean? Like, why do we feel the need to give people attention who don't deserve attention? Like, it's so weird to me.
Yeah, well,
because it's shocking, because it moves algorithms. It puts money into the pockets of politicians and into the pockets of Facebook and into, like, that's the only reason.
I mean, they have figured out that this system works.
Yeah. Shock and awe, constantly.
Yeah, right.
Until we're all so exhausted by it.
Yeah, right. It's like we're just reading headlines all day without diving deeper.
It's as if we all have this button, like an adrenaline button, that we push every once in a while to get that charge real quick.
I guess we do have this.
Yeah, we're like lab rats. That's all there is to it. Like, we just sit around and go, where's my next dose of adrenaline? I'm mad about this now. Just, God damn it. Like,
man, yeah. But it's actually tempting. I mean, when you like plan a tour, you have to go on social media, you have to post every day, like you said in the beginning. And it's really hard to just say, okay, here's my fair share of attention and output for the day, and now just put it away.
Yeah, it is very difficult. And not only that, but it's also difficult. And I want people to realize this from a band perspective, from a person who's in a band whose lifestyle is being, and I mean, not just lifestyle, my family, my finances, everything are being directly adversely affected by you dicks like that just can't help out, because you're selfish. Yeah. Like, that's what's hard for me not to say every day. And I'm sick of not saying it. You know what I mean? Gotcha. Like, you get exhausted holding that in, because I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to go online every day and go, guys, what the hell? Come on. Do you realize what you're doing?
Yeah.
But, and that's very difficult. And that's just me being honest. You know what I mean? Like, it is hard to not go online and see all this crap and just go, okay, I hate you. I just literally hate you by now. Like, like it just, obviously you don't care about me. You don't care about anybody but yourself. So screw you.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah,
And I don't want to be like that.
Of
I want to
course
be
not.
positive. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, but being positive nowadays is really hard.
It is. And that's why it's a revolutionary act, I believe. That's why,
Being
with
positive,
rebel
you mean?
songs. Yeah. Putting out rebel songs, putting out this music that I'm putting out right now, and this message that I'm putting out right now is so important to me, and I think to others, because of that. We've been in this like horrible, like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to hear any more negative shit anymore. We're overloaded with it. So to hear someone being positive, or at least trying to be positive,
I totally get what you're saying. But isn't this weird? I mean, you are a professional punk rocker, you can say.
Yeah.
And that the punks of the world have to be the ones that say, "Hey, it's not that bad. It's all good. Here's a Band-Aid." I mean, wasn't it your job to criticize and be negative?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Criticism changes.
Yeah, right.
It's not always negative. You know what I mean? You go against and not just to be against. And that's the lesson that we need to learn about punk rock. Mm-hmm. The Sex Pistols turned us the wrong way. They made us think that punk was nihilism. Punk was just reacting to react. But you know what? There was someone who taught us a better way. Joe Strummer and The Clash, who came along and said, there you go, right there.
Hangs there on the wall.
Yep. He came along and was like, no. That's not punk. That's not what punk's about. Punk's about seeing a problem and going, let's go get them.
Yeah,
let's make this happen.
Let's go there where the problem is.
Exactly. Let's go where the problem is. And not only that, but let's us be different. Let's not just be snarling punks who are mean and angry at people. Joe Strummer was a positive human being.
Of course.
He talked about kindness constantly. He talked about these things and getting onto people's level in order to elevate the conversation, in order to elevate punk rock.
Yeah.
And that's what punk is to me about. It's not just about being divisive to be divisive or being angry to be angry or negative. It's about speaking out in ways that are positive and are ways that are actually going to get something changed, creating spaces, creating cultures and subcultures that actually show a different way from society, because society is negative. Everything we see out there in this culture is negative. So we have to create something that is antithetical to that.
Well said. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Even the late Joe Strummer, when he was with the Mescaleros, this was when the whole positive side really came out, and he had some incredible almost Bob Marley-like songs in that era, from that era.
And that was, I mean, I think that a lot was bringing in that style and vibe that the Clash did and Joe Strummer did with reggae and stuff, because there is a very outspoken nature of reggae, but it's also very positive. It's very uplifting at the same time. And to bring that into punk rock, I think was brilliant. And it's something that, as you probably heard, I've tried to bring into my music as well.
When I heard your song, Rebel Songs, from the album Rebel Songs, it was, I felt like shifted to like probably 15 or 20 years ago when the whole cultural aesthetic was this American suburb where every TV show took place, etc. And it had this kind of melancholic vibe, but melancholic, but in a positive way, like not depressed, but this. It was like, let's go.
Yeah. And that's exactly where I'm trying to get with this, because I feel like that's where we all are right now. I think to be overly cheesy positive is
Yeah.
to do us all a disservice. You know what I mean? Like
the
that's
pop
Instagram
stuff.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, hey, look how great I'm doing all the
right.
time. I'm never depressed, you know? So I think, but also to dwell in the negative doesn't help either. So
not.
that sort of exasperated positivity is where I think we all are, you know what I mean? And or at least where we should be.
Yeah. Is this your most political record today?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, especially as a solo artist. And it was a journey to get here. You know, I put out Feral Hymns, which was a very introspective personal album, just me and a guitar, you know. And that was the beginning of sort of getting to the bottom of my own personal issues and my own personal struggles that I needed to get through before I could really talk about what needed to change in the world, you know, because I had obviously done that a lot with Boysetsfire, yelling out about, you know, political issues. But now I don't feel like the need is there so much for that anger and that negativity and that just like, oh, I'm so pissed off all the time type of feel. There's something different. And I needed to get to the bottom of my own anger and my own feelings to then move forward into Rebel songs so I could speak on these issues that are important to me, but speak to them on a level where people would feel them personally, where people would feel them in a way that, you know, as I say a lot, the political is personal and the personal is political. And I need people to feel it that way because that's the only way we're really going to make a difference and change. Is that change has to start small and it has to start at home. It has to start with how we treat those in our own personal neighborhood. Do you even know your neighbors? You know, it's important to get out and to start there and to be kind and to be compassionate and to be loving. And because these humans in our general area are the ones that are going to grow out into becoming the politicians of the future, the ones that change the world around us. And so we need to be directly influencing that with the way we act.
Yeah, like the micro and the macro and so on.
Yes. And I've found that pulling back a little bit and realizing how much control is in that micro, you know what I mean? Where you don't have much control out there in the macro because it's already too late out there.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But in here, it's not because you're growing something. You're planting a seed. You're creating life.
Yeah, and it's literally more hands-on because if you just say, okay, I want to go out and change the world, well, good luck. But if you go out and say, hey, there's this, I don't know, this may sound cheesy, the little old lady down the street, I will carry her bags to the grocery store. Or there's a homeless dude, I give him some of my clothes or a little money and, you know, these very, very, very small gestures that can go a long way.
Yes. And even if they don't change the world or they don't change the person you help, they change you.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, I've posted it several times and I try to live by this as much as possible. There's a quote by a man named A.J. Must who was quoted. He was standing out in front of the White House with a candle. Protesting a war at the time. And the reporter asked him, do you really think standing out in front of the White House with this candle is going to change you? And his response was basically, I'm not doing it do you think it'll change the world?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not doing it to change the world. I'm making sure the world doesn't change me. And I think that's something that we really need to focus in on these days.
Yeah.
Is how we are changing, how we are allowing the world to change us. And making us more angry, more hateful, more, you know, like it just more lazy, honestly, with how we work. Like we want to change the world and we want to yell about it here on the internet or whatever, but we don't want to actually go out and do the work and be kind to people and do the necessary things within our communities to change lives and hearts.
True. But if you look at the times now that I would say are very political times, I guess what we are witnessing right now is just the beginning of a political movement. I mean, if you look back to the 60s, when this was a process over years, and we're just a good year in. And in the beginning, there was all these shouting and screaming on every side, and everyone was at each other's throat. And now it all shimmers down a bit, and people start to focus on what they really can do.
Mm-hmm. I hope that is true. Yes.
Hey man, I try to stay positive.
Yeah. No, I love it. And that's what we should be doing, and focusing and just taking the temperature down a little bit. Because I think also there is a big issue with, and I can only speak to it from my side of this. I feel like those who I typically agree with, those on a certain viewpoint of politics, I feel like a lot of times we discount too much from the other side. And what I mean by that is that we don't use the proper discernment in knowing who's worth talking to and who's not. So my point is that you have folks who are bigoted, awful people.
Yes.
You are never going to change them. You are going to exhaust yourself talking to them. But there are people that those people influence that you can change. And that's where discernment works. You can point at one guy and go, he's not worth changing. But wait a minute, he's influencing this person. And the only reason this person is listening to them is because they have a broken heart. They feel no one cares about them. And this person is giving them someone to hate. This person is giving them someone to direct their anger, their internal anger at. So how do we contact those people? How do we show them that using hate and bigotry and this awful fighting others to not get in touch with yourself isn't the way to go? How do we tell them that, hey, look, instead of that, let's fix you. Let's not break others to help you. Let's actually fix what's at the core of your problem, because a lot of people, they don't even realize that they don't actually hate other people. They've just been taught to do it because they can't get in touch with all the brokenness and hurt that they have within themselves. And that's scary. It's scary to go inside, you know what I mean? And deal with that. So instead, you lash out. And if some asshole gives you the proper people to lash out at, you're going to do that because that's easier. Hate's easy.
That's right. Yeah. Hate leads to the dark side.
Yes. Love and compassion and kindness and checking in with yourself and getting yourself fixed, that's hard work.
So what you're saying is don't get upset about Tucker Carlson, but talk to...
Oh, no, fuck him. Yeah.
But talk to the neighbor that watches Tucker Carlson.
Yes, that is actually what I'm saying. Correct. If we take away their people, they have no people. They have no money.
That's right.
They have no ability to cash in on their hate. If we, and I don't know a better word for this, minister to the people they are causing to hate things for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
And you're not going to get everybody.
Of course,
you know what
not.
I mean? It is. You're going to get defeated in this, and it's going to hurt. It's going to suck, and you're going to have to deal with a lot of people that say awful things to you. But at the end of the day, is it worth it? And I think it is. I think it's very worth it to put ourselves on the line, because you know what? The people who don't have, and let me be very specific.
Yeah.
People like you and I,
Yeah.
that look like you and I,
Yeah.
white dudes,
Yeah.
are the ones that should be putting our asses on the line for this right now.
Of course.
Who should be going out and speaking, because at the end of the day, we have the least to lose.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And that's why we have to show up, because there are people out there that don't have the opportunity to just go, it'll fix itself. It's fine. It doesn't really affect me. It affects a lot of people out there. And so people like you and I who have these belief systems, we have to be on top of this. We need to get out there and we need to talk to the people that other people can't. You know what I mean? It's not like, a refugee can go up and speak to some hateful right-wing bigot and go, hey, could you not hate me? You know what I mean? Like, they can't do that, but we can.
Yeah, of
we
course.
can go up to those people and talk to them for them, you know?
Yeah, and what you said about like taking away their audience, taking away their flock, their tribe.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess is definitely the hardest of things to do.
Yes.
But I guess it's worthwhile after all.
Yeah, it is. And I think that some people will see it. Like, there are some people who have been so inundated with hate that there is it's just not going to work for some. But for some, they're going to see, okay, over here, this guy wants me to be hateful, wants me to be angry constantly. These people over here just want to love on me. Yeah. They just want me to come over here so we can have a good time. And so we can love each other and care about each other and
talk to each other.
And talk to each other. And that is going to make a difference. I can promise you, if we are not yelling in these people's faces and calling them shitheads all the time, you know what I mean? And let me be specific. We need to use discernment because some of these people are shitheads.
Definitely.
Okay? And they deserve,
shitheads.
and they deserve every minute of it.
Yes, of course.
But let's be cautious on who are the gang leaders here and who are the people who are just following because they're so broken inside. They don't know what else to do with themselves.
Yes.
You know, they're being misled.
And if you go screaming at those people, they have been trained to be screamed at because their ministers always, it's the same narrative every time. It's like they are against us.
Yes,
so
exactly.
If someone comes up and says, hey, Tucker Carlson is out of his mind. You can't believe a word he says. He told me this. He told me
you'd say this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a cult. Yeah,
it is.
It's a cult.
Right?
Yeah. And that's the thing is that people don't realize how easy it is to get into a cult. Like, it's almost like a human condition. Like, humans are almost built to become cult members. It's horrifying. Like, and we have to guard against that. We have to guard against that tribalism. Yeah. And that cult-like behavior. And realize that not everyone has your best interest in mind,
Of course.
And notice, what people are saying and who it helps and who it hurts, and follow the money trail, on where that goes. But I think that you're going to have to, I need people to realize that you're going to have to face a lot of shit doing this. I have myself going to people, and you can be the nicest, most caring person to someone, and they'll still be like, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Like, and they'll treat you horribly. They will say the most disgusting, vile shit to you, but you have to keep moving. You have to keep pushing with these people. It's worth it. I mean, look back in history at people who put up an actual fight against fascism and who went through much worse than we did with just words, with just people teasing us.
There were times when it was much harder to speak up against.
Yes. So we can take harsh words, and try to work through that. And if you have to, think of it as standing up against the hurt inside these people. You're standing up because you're trying to help them. You're not trying to win an argument.
Yeah,
you're not trying to beat them. You know what I mean? You're standing up to the hurt that's screaming out of them. And when you see it that way, when you see people as human beings and you see that they are a hurt, broken person and that all that hurt is just lashing out at you, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, I think so.
At least for me, and I think people that are like me. Because
I guess I'm pretty sure it is.
Because there's not those triggers within like race and culture and, things that like for someone who's black or someone who's an immigrant, someone who's trans or gay, obviously they are less likely to be able to take that in, to be able to see, you know what I mean? Because that's a trigger. That's a very deep hurt and a wound. I don't have that. You know what I mean? And that's why I was saying it's important for me to stand up. Yeah. Because I can be a little bit more, I can separate a little bit more
So like
from the person. And I'm not in physical harm's way in that situation.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
But you can take the words, you can take the anger, you can take the blame, etc., etc. And
and how dare us call ourselves allies if we don't?
Well spoken, here.
You know? Yeah, if we don't stand up in front of our friends and do the work, fuck us. Like
that could have been a lyric, my friend.
Yes, yeah.
If we don't stand in front of our friends, fuck us.
Yeah.
Say, I see, to switch a topic a little bit, I see a picture there on your wall. What is this?
It's from some artwork that was done for Boysetsfire. We did an album While a Nation Sleeps.
Yeah.
And this was artwork from that.
Ah, okay. This looks
so
like the cultish sign.
Yeah. It's so funny story behind While a Nation Sleeps. It was a collection of songs that we had not put out that were supposed to come out on albums but never came out.
Uh-huh.
So the reason why we did this with a lot of the occultic symbolism and stuff, when we first became a band, it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yeah.
Because when we first became a band, we hadn't written even one song before we started putting out, this was like in 92. We started putting out stickers that said, While a Nation Sleeps, Boysetsfire. And it had a bunch of like weird, like either occultic or like conspiracy theory, like type looking things on it.
Yeah.
Just to get people interested. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, what is this about? This is weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. So when we put out While a Nation Sleep, we used all this symbolism just as a harken back to that time.
Gotcha.
Where it was like this tongue in cheek, like just to get people like, what is this? You know? And at the end of the day, there's not really a lot behind it. It's sort of it's just to get people like wondering and questioning, you know?
I read about you that you are a member, talking about cultish things, a member of the Church of Satan. Is that true?
Not anymore. I was. So that was, I want to say it's about 3 or 4 years ago that I left, but I think it might have been 5. It's hard anymore. You know how you lose track of time with all this going on, you know?
Old.
But yeah. But yes, I was for a while. And it was one of those steps that I was going through at the time. And you know, like I said, when I did Feral Hymns, trying to get to the source of this, when I put out Feral Hymns, that was right around when I left that.
Okay.
And I was getting in touch with, okay, what attracted me to these kind of things, like these sort of darker viewpoints and things of that nature. And, you know, it occurred to me when I left, because I still have a few friends that are part of that, and the people who run it and everything, still friends with them, but like, it's just not for me. And I had to really sort of, because I feel like there was a time period in my life where I was just reaching out for anything that I would sort of like fill this gap I was feeling inside me. I'd go, oh, okay, this is me. No, wait, this is me. No, wait a minute. No, maybe this, you know what I mean? And so I tried out a lot of things, and that was one of the things I tried out.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it was like, no, that's not it. Like, you know,
but I mean, you haven't sacrificed goats or anything, but
no. And that's not what it's about. It's, modern Satanism has nothing to do with that kind of stuff. It's honestly it's symbolism.
Okay.
You know, it's supposed to be a symbolic, you're basically taking on the role of the revolutionary, the rebellion, you know what I mean? Because you look back into mythos in history, and the first rebellion is Satan's rebellion against God and gaining his own kingdom because of that.
Yeah.
So that's what it's basically based on.
When he
it's
said
all
non
symbolism.
serviam, right?
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all based on that, and it's all symbolism, and it has nothing to do with all those weird things you associate. But still, at the end of the day, it just didn't represent who I am, you know? So, and I had to realize that, and was like, okay, I need to pull away from this, because also I don't want to be part of something where that can be mistaken. You know what I mean? Like people look at what I believe and they go, ooh, oh, is that sacrificing God? I just don't want to be part of something that can be misconstrued.
This stigma, you don't want the stigma on you. Okay.
Yeah, because I think with most people who are involved in that, they enjoy that. They like people being confused and it being mysterious. You know what I mean? But for me, I don't like that. I want to be very upfront, very honest, very open, and I want my beliefs to be obvious. You know, I want people to see them and go, "This is what this guy's about." That's it. You know what I mean? So I just couldn't maintain it anymore. I couldn't say this is what I fully believe anymore. Okay, gotcha. Because it just wasn't me. Yep.
Got you. When we say that these are political times, as we did, after Donald Trump went kinda away, but we get to this later, after the media coverage of the United States wasn't that daily as it was before. How's the general feeling towards politics? Because I've read a couple of things that maybe Donald Trump is already planning to come back in 2024. Yeah, I've heard that too. I think it's a cold day in hell that's going to happen. But I mean, he might come back. People laugh at me when I say this because we went through a time that everybody went, "Oh, it can't happen," and then it did. Yeah. But if you actually look at what happened, it was because people did not get out to the polls. Donald Trump was not a popular president. He was probably the least popular president we've seen in a very long time. He never made above 50% in the polls. Never. Not when he got elected. He got elected under 50%. That's insane. That has never happened in my lifetime. You know what I mean? So there was something different at work here. And I think one of those things was, unfortunately, Hillary Clinton was not a viable candidate. And as much as some of us would have liked to have seen it work, it wasn't going to work. So end of the day, people just felt like it didn't matter. And they went, well, I'm not getting out the vote. Now, you'll see, because Biden's not the best president in the fucking world. Like, he's not the greatest, but people went out to vote because they understood why it mattered. Yeah. During that election, no one understood why it mattered. We had to go through Trump to understand why it matters. You know what I mean? Like, it just, that's how we work over here. We're sort of dumb like that. We have to and I think it works in a lot of places. I mean, if you look back in Germany, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you have to go through things to realize why it's wrong, why it's bad. Otherwise, people can convince you that, and I think that was the big push during Trump's election. They really pushed hard to get people to not go out to the polls because they knew that Trump wasn't as electable as they thought, as they had hoped. But he rammed up the base. He got everybody all sparked up and excited in this small base, but it was a minority. Yeah, and that's the end of the story. A very vocal minority. Right. Yeah, and then we come full circle back to the ministers like Tucker Carlson, who can preach all day, and if a minority thinks that they are deserving something, then they might go out and try to convince others. Then they start to minister themselves, and I think there is something that Trump got out of people. I mean, there was no indifference to him. You hated him or you loved him. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing and that is why a lot of Republicans are trying to mimic him now. And that's what's gross, is that you have all these Republicans that are trying to mimic that now. And because at the end of the day, they don't actually care about the big picture. They care about their personal states, which they can stay in power in those personal states and cities through elections by being assholes. That's it. That's all they have to do, is they have to keep being some insight that I saw that was very eye-opening was talking about how the media
will only pay attention to you, only give you bad press if you are offensive once. If you keep with it, they'll let you go.
Really?
They won't, you know what I mean? They'll give you a bunch of shit if you say one horrible thing. But if you continue that horrible thing, and that's what politicians have learned, especially on the right, if they just keep going,
Yeah.
the media will be like, oh, well, that's normal. That's just what they do.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course,
Like,
it's a
it's awful.
different kind of enduring, like pushing into it. Like, okay,
We normalize it.
yeah, it's not a mistake; it's a shtick.
Exactly. And that is the problem, is that the media is enforcing this now, and they're normalizing this horrible behavior, which shouldn't, it blows my mind just how horrible people are able to be as long as they double down, triple down, quadruple down on their horribleness, because we just get desensitized to it. We normalize it and go, oh, well, yeah, that's just how they are. No, that's not just how they are. Why are they in a position of power in any way, shape, form, or idea? And not only that, like, why are we even calling it power? They're mediators. Politicians should be mediators, not power.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be in power.
Yeah.
But it just, so that's where we're at right now. And that's what we're combating here. But at the end of the day, we need to realize that it's a vocal minority.
Yeah.
And the longer that we stay quiet, the longer that we don't fight this actively and loudly and constantly and consistently, that's why they win. That's why Donald Trump won. He was a minority. He was that's what I think that people are not quite wrapping around their head, how dangerous that is, that this minority leader won. That's insane.
If you think about it, he was the embodiment of a overly vocal minority.
Yeah,
He was,
they.
So go ahead, please.
They did such a good job, and they still do it now because people will still say this stupid fucking thing. They're like, well, it was because the left got too left. No, fuck you. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with you saying that and making people normalize bullshit. That's what it was. It was that people got desensitized to bullshit, and they just went, well, it's not going to matter anyway. It had nothing to do with people who feel strongly about liberal, left-wing, progressive politics being too progressive. Screw you. Had nothing to do with that. I don't care how angry a bunch of bigoted right-wing people got about it. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with apathy. It had to do with people not being outspoken enough, not being creative enough in their push forward with how we should be in this country. Mm. And so that alone, people saying that dangerous crap of, well, you were just being too compassionate and too kind. Shut up. That's not a thing. That's something that the right wing has fed you because they're good at propaganda. Mm. If there is anything I have got to tip my hat to those motherfuckers to, is they are able to brainwash the fuck out of some people.
I think so.
They do this thing like, well, if you're so accepting, you should accept Nazism. You know what I mean? Like, and the best is like, they say that, but they say it with different language to where people go, oh, they have a good point. No, they don't. They don't have a good point. They're not welcome at the table. Are you kidding me? The second you let these people at the table, they're going to clear the table, shoot everybody, and move forward. Like, they don't care about your tolerance. They care about getting to the table so they can kill you, you moron. Like, it drives me nuts.
You're getting really amped up here.
Yes, and that's
grinds
the thing.
your gear.
It does. It really does. And I think it's because not enough people are saying it and receiving it. And we are allowing ourselves, it's almost sort of like a loving smack. Like, guys, wake up. Come on. Like, do you not see what they're doing to you? They're getting you to use their language. Yeah. They're getting you to hate yourself. They're getting you to shame yourself for them. We can't do that anymore.
And they're getting people that benefit not a bit from their politics to vote for them just because they say, we are your voice. I mean,
Yes.
if you look at the U.S., all the states that are not on a coast, the flyover states.
Yeah.
I guess there are hundreds of millions of people that feel, well, maybe not hundreds of millions, but a shitload of people.
Small populations, big landmass.
But they really feel underrepresented in the media. And as someone who's watching from the outside, when I think about America, I think about California, I think about New York, Washington, Chicago, maybe Seattle.
Sure.
Done. And there is so much more in the middle. And these are the people, I think, that need to hear, hey, empathy is good. We are in this together.
Not only that, but they need to hear that they matter as people. And that's the problem, is that they are being fed right now. You know why you feel underrepresented? Because you're white. That's why you're underrepresented. It's the black people. They're doing this to you. This is happening because of this. And they get fed that on a steady basis from their media, from their politicians, because it makes them money. So if you are being fed that steady diet of bigotry and nonsense that makes you feel empowered, that's all they want. They want a feeling of empowerment. They want to feel like they matter. Why can't we do that?
Yeah, they want to have a place on the table.
Yeah. Why can't we make them feel empowered and loved and cared for?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's our job. That's what we should have been doing.
Yeah.
And instead, we let these bigots come in and feed them a steady diet of hate and bigotry and gave them a false sense of empowerment.
Yeah, and they've done such a good job in doing this that they even think that vaccines are a political issue.
Yeah, which they're not. The public health is not a political issue. We're in this together. We all have to be in this together in order to combat this virus.
Yeah.
End of story. It doesn't matter who started it. Doesn't matter what politician is saying what. It matters that we do what's right to help each other out and to move forward.
Yeah, right. And all of these this nitpicking, like this politician has done this and that. As if it matters. It's like reading the yellow press, but about people who have to make real impactful decisions.
Right. And that's the thing. You nailed it right there with acting like things that don't matter. Like, where did the virus start? Who gives a shit? Who cares?
This is something
Who
to
cares if it
write
started
home
in
about
China?
when the whole thing is over.
Yeah,
like in 5 years. Oh, we
drives me nuts. You guys are arguing over if it started in China or where. Who gives a shit where it started?
And if it started there, then what?
Yeah. What do you do then? Who gives a shit? Like, it drives me nuts. But you're exactly right. There's so much and that's purposefully done. That's why I was saying that they have such a good propaganda machine.
Yeah, sure.
Because if they can get people arguing about shit that doesn't matter, they've got you.
And
they've
people
got you controlled.
love to argue about shit that doesn't matter.
Oh my God, yes. Constantly.
They really do. And I mean, Jesus, these are people. People are can be the most brilliant, but the most dumb thing on the planet. Yeah.
Even people that I agree with, sometimes I'll end up getting into an argument and all of a sudden going, wait a minute. Why are we arguing about this? Right. This is like what are we talking about? Legos? What are we talking about? Like, that doesn't matter. That just wasted so much time arguing on like a chair. Like, why did we argue about that? Like,
and arguing about vaccination. I mean, it drives families apart from each other.
Oh yeah. I've learned that. Yeah, I've learned that in those situations, like online, even, like, it's just like I'm not going to do this. I can't. Because the rest of us have to move forward. The rest of us have to get these vaccinations, get tested, do all these things in order to move forward. I can't spend an hour arguing with your dumbass. You're not going to get vaccinated. You're never going to get vaccinated. I guess that's your problem. Now. You know what I mean? Like, because end of the day, the rest of us are moving forward. Yeah. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make you give a shit. Like, I just can't.
Right.
You know? So there's going to be a point where those of us who are doing the right thing are just going to have to do the right thing and move forward, because I feel like a lot of this, what people don't realize is all of us that are doing the right thing are getting upset because we are protecting people who won't do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're getting more angry at these people who won't do the right thing. And it's a waste of time for us to keep getting more angry at people who are never going to do the right thing. At some point, we're going to have to be like, well, we've done our best.
Yeah.
We've protected ourselves. We've protected those who want to be protected. And there are people who do not want to be protected.
That's right. That's right.
And I understand that it does affect herd immunity and all that kind of stuff when a certain percentage won't. But again, at the end of the day, there's going to have to be, well, we did our best. We have protected ourselves as best we can. And that is good enough. And there are the one thing that I am very happy about that is making me feel a little bit more positive about the step forward. There are companies now that are coming up with a pill that will decrease, if you take it in time, will decrease your chances of dying from COVID by like 80, 90%.
Yeah.
When that comes out, done. You know what I mean? Like that's all there is to it. We can't keep going like this.
At the end of the day, it's just a waiting game.
Yeah, it will become the flu. Because just
course.
like you do with a flu, you have that pill. Some people get vaccinated for the flu. Some people take that when they start feeling sick. They take that pill.
Yeah,
they play
Some people
their risk.
isolate themselves.
Yeah,
whatever.
And that is what this is going to become. That's where we're going to go if we can stop this nonsense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
it is what it is, and we're going to get to this point. And thank fucking whatever for science and industries that will create these ways to move forward. And we're just going to have to move along forward. And it sucks that some people are literally going to commit suicide over this.
Yeah.
They're going to not do what's right. And they're going to die hanging on to some stupid belief that never mattered. And that is sad.
This is really sad, especially as we are in an information age. What... Mm-hmm. Strangely enough, triggers exactly these things. But at the end of the day, there will be casualties, and that's a shame.
Yes,
because they don't have to be. But you won't win everyone over. You maybe win those over who are afraid, and there's no shame in being afraid of a vax.
No, not at all.
I mean, it's a chemical in your body, of course.
Yeah, I've done. Every time I've gotten a vaccination, I'm going to do it again when I go get my other shot. I try to post about it and my own fears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like, we can do this. You know what I mean? Positive, like, look, I'm having a panic attack right now. I hate this.
Yeah.
But how important it is to work through that personal struggle for everyone. You know what I mean? Because we're all in this together and all that, and more to that point that I was saying, like, it sucks, but I've really gotten to a point where my kids are now in the process of being vaccinated. They got their first shots. They'll be getting their second in December. I'll be getting my booster. My wife's gotten her booster shot.
Great.
And there's going to be a point where we are as protected as we're going to be protected.
Yeah. Right.
And that is going to have to be good enough at some point.
It's the seatbelt in the car.
Exactly. And that is what it is. And it sucks to say, but I think a lot of us are going to have to let go of our need to control and force others to do what's right to their own detriment. You know what I mean? To protect them from themselves and realize that at the end of the day, we've done what we can.
Yeah.
And we got to keep trying, but we're also going to have to move forward and we're we can't live like this.
Yeah, it's like maybe if you play a show, maybe there are a couple of people, like at a festival. Mm-hmm. Maybe there are some people who don't like your music or whatever. They have a bad day, whatever. But there are others that will love it and they will go crazy to it. And it's
right.
You play for everyone, and those who love it, you take with you. And the others, fair enough.
Right. And that's exactly why I think that, to another point within this, though, I think how important it is to have these vaccination mandates for shows and things like that, because of the fact that going to a show is a luxury. You know what I mean? Obviously, you cannot mandate a vaccine if you want to eat, if you want to live, you know what I mean? That type of thing. If you want to have housing, you can't be like, well, are you vaccinated? You can't get housing if you don't, but for entertainment, fuck yeah. And that should be an impetus to help. Us as musicians can inspire people in that way by saying, hey, if you want to join this, if you want to have fun, like, I'm not going to take away life-sustaining things, but a show, if you want to come to a show and have fun, we should all be on the same team here.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's why there's a difference between inspiring and giving incentive and force, and I'm going to tell you this now, that there are a lot of people that don't know that difference on the other side. The second you try to incentivize them, they're like, you can't force me. I'm not trying to force you, dingus. I'm trying to incentivize you to do the right thing here. And if you don't want to do the right thing, and if you don't want to do the right thing, fine, but you can't hang out. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking away your livelihood. I don't want to take away anything other than your entertainment here. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the things that we're going to have to do for a while. And that will probably fade away at some point, but it's going to be something that we're going to have to do for a while. But yeah, like I said, there will be a point where we will be at a place where we are with the flu.
Yeah. Definitely.
Where it's just take a pill, you do your vaccinations, or you don't, and you die if you're too old. You know what I mean? It's like, it sucks. It sucks to say that, but it just
these are things that happen. We live in an imperfect world, and that's basically the way it goes. And
let me be very specific, though, that this is a place we will get to. I hate that people have been there for a year now. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, fuck it. I guess people are going to have to die. Who cares? No. This past year has been very important that we did the right thing and that we isolated and that we, you know what I mean? Like, while science is sort of catching up, you know what I mean? And trying to figure out how to get this under control. But now we can start looking towards that being the future. But so I don't want the reason I say that is I don't want anyone to mistake me with those people who were saying that like a year ago. But like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to move forward. No. That's a thing that we're at now looking forward, not so much then. I feel like everything up to now, it sucked, but it was important. It was something we had to go through for those of us who are able to learn from it,
It is and was a very interesting, stressful, insightful, and kind of motivating time.
Yes, for those who are capable of insight and motivation. Of course. It was great. Yeah.
Of course.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Of course. I read a piece today about the terminology of freedom and how maybe people should check what freedom is. And as you are in the US, you are a very freedom friendly state.
It's embarrassing.
You have tons of freedom over there. So and the author says pretty much, maybe we should start thinking when we say freedom, not about the individual freedom, but the freedom to move as a society, as a collective.
Yes. Not only that, but we see, unfortunately, in America, freedom has been turned into a toddler word. It's like, I am free because I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter who it hurts. That's not freedom. Freedom comes with responsibility. Your freedom to throw your fist stops at the tip of my nose. And that is what people do not take into account. That is freedom. Freedom, do what you want. But the second you swing that fist and it hits my nose, that's not freedom anymore. That's oppression.
That's right.
That is you enforcing your will on me.
Right.
And that's not okay.
Right.
So there are some things that people need to grow the fuck up about and realize that there is responsibility associated with freedom. And if we are all going to be free people, we are going to have to partner that with compassion and care for those around us, and understanding that freedom is only freedom if we are all free and capable of being free and given the ability to be free.
Yeah, it's like swaying to the same tune. Then we're all free.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Weird times, man. Weird times.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. Tell me, what are your plans for the next year? Because this year is officially over.
Yeah.
So
this
what's going on?
So I do have a few things going on in the States coming up just for December. Not the least of it being a record release on December 17th.
That's something.
Yeah. That's huge. And I'm doing an online acoustic set for it, which is on sale now. If you go to my Instagram or my Facebook, you can buy online tickets to the show.
Yeah.
That I'll be doing for the record release. And
December 17th.
December 17th is when the show will air. Because I'll be doing it in a live streaming, but also recording it because it's going to be done at 7:00 at night here, which is like 1:00 your time. So I'm going to record it as well, so people who buy the tickets can watch it whenever they want to.
Yeah, where will you play? Just a studio, or
I will be
venue?
playing at a friend's shop called A Day in the Life. It's a record shop / antique store, and I'm going to have about 10 to 15 friends that'll be there live, and the rest will be online. And I'm selling T-shirts. I'm doing a raffle for a notebook that has all my notes and lyrics for Rebel songs. I'm raffling a couple of things. If you go on my social media sites, you'll see it. And you can buy tickets for the show or raffle tickets or T-shirts for it, which will help me out incredibly. Obviously, I need to offset some costs from this canceled tour.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But past that, into next year, there will be some tours coming up. There'll be some, some just press and pushing forward with this album and trying to get this album into as many hands as I feasibly can. That's always the thing, and I think that that's going to take a lot of creativity, as it has up to now. Releasing a album near Christmas is already insane, The industry's dead. The industry's asleep. It doesn't care,
Especially when you try to release a vinyl record as well.
Yes. And that, like, having all these pushbacks to the vinyl because of the pandemic and, it's just insane right now. So on top of that, it being released near the holidays, released during a pandemic, released during,
Without
all this
tour?
shit. Yeah, without a tour, everything's working against it right now. So I have to be creative constantly. And so with that said, I thank you very much for doing this, because it takes folks like you giving a shit to talk to me about this and getting this out into the world.
Of course.
It really is an important part of this. And I really appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
I have to thank you. I was so excited to talk to you. And now, talking to you live would be the best thing. This is the next best thing. But I'm pretty sure that you will come to Germany and you will go on tour. And maybe we catch up and have a chat then.
I would love to.
Man, I have to thank you for your time. It was a pleasure. It was very nice talking to you. You're a gentleman, a punk rocker and a gentleman.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It was a blast. So I will link everything in the show notes. And man, I would say till we talk next time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And we're done. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. You'll find all the information about Nathan, his album Rebel Songs, and his release show in the links in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and maybe even our free newsletter. It's mostly in German, but hey, you'll figure it out. You can also say hi anytime on Instagram or YouTube. And with that being said, take care, be kind to one another, and be well until we meet again. See ya.